Hello, everybody, and welcome back for another episode of TFT Study Hall with your TFT Academy hosts. My name is Frodan.
And I'm Dishsoap.
And we're back. Today is July 2nd, 2025, and we are on the final competitive patch of Set 14 Cyber City. It's 14.7. But first, I want to catch up with Dishsoap, who is coming off regionals and also kind of the end of the regular season, prepping for his 5th consecutive World Championship. You've had your hands full, buddy. How's life?
It's been okay. Like if I'm being honest, like the past like 48 hours, I've just like taken not really engaged with TFT at all. So we're kind of
taking a break.
Yeah, I kind of always like to do this before like the big tournament prep cycles. Is I like to come in behind, and then like I get to like fast track the learning, and like not have to do like the groundwork.
So you can play catch up as opposed to trying to push and innovate. That's good. Also, I mean, 5 world championships in a row. This, I believe, their ties record or sets the record for it. Is anything materially different approaching it now that you're a 2-time world champion? You're coming back once again to defend. I mean, you learned last time, right? Because you've done this before from set 12, guaranteed off of set 11. Is there anything different this time?
Not really. I can't really like mess with the process.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk quickly about 14.7, a little bit on the rundown. So let me share my screen here. So 14.7, the patch notes, they didn't actually change that much of it because it's the final patch heading into the World Championship. So I guess we can just start with, I guess, what they perceive to be the large changes and just talk about our reaction to it. So the first is that Cypher Lost Streak intel is reduced on stages, right? So now it gives you a little bit less Cypher. Executioner got buffed. Exotech got nerfed, adjusted halfway between 5 and 7 because they buffed 7 so much at 300. So now they're scaling it. I think it was 240. Then they went to 300, now to 270 on the HP. They buffed Hollow Bow, so that way it gives you a higher base AD. Nitro's better. Vanguard nerfed. And then a bunch of buffs to like Mundo, Vi, Zyra, or rather nerfs to Vi, and then a couple of other things to the 4 and 5 cost champions. They disable Think Fast. Last Stand now gives less HP. They buff Luden's Echo, which I didn't really expect them to do. And then they disabled 2 problematic augments, Overclocked and Spare Parts, as well as nerfed the Thorn Plated Armor. So out of all these, what do you think are some of the most impactful changes that you felt so far in the first week of the patch?
I mean, most impactful change like just has to be the 7XO one, even though like it is like only like 30 HP. Just like this trait was like so good. This is basically like you're losing 90 HP on all of your 3-item units, which like it doesn't sound like much, but like it actually really does matter for stuff like Mord and Sedge getting the second cast off, and then often like even your Zeri HP ends up like mattering a lot. Like so often Zeri ends up like with like no HP at the end of the fights. Like it's still in the meta, but it's not like there's like no reason for anyone to be like more than 2-way Zeri like now after this, where like in the past you would see like 3 or even 4 sometimes.
Yep, that makes sense.
To make up for it, they buffed Hollow Bow. You probably like only put this on Jin with a crit item. Or this only matters when you have like Jin with a crit item. You can like put it on Varus, I guess, but yeah, it's like whatever. Okay. I don't think it like it's. I mean, okay, one sec. I have to check this just for like a sanity check. Like I don't think you're supposed to put this on Zeri, but you know what?
The stats haven't really supported putting it on Zeri. I'm sure you can put it on Zeri if you're like hit Zeri early and you have 3 items. So you still put the Hollow Bow on the Zeri temporarily.
Okay,
late game, I've seen people move.
I'm out. I just saw. Okay. I just had to do like a very, very quick sanity check.
Yeah, fair enough. I've seen people also, and this goes back to the previous patch because we didn't talk about it last time, but I've seen people say if I have Pulse Stabilizer, right, we can pull it up on TFT. If I have Pulse Stabilizer, I'd rather put that Pulse Stabilizer on Jin and put a regular item on Zeri, right? Like they would go Double Kraken, they'd go Giant Slayer, whatever else they want. Is that still the case in your book? And if so, would you even go as far as to say, like, if you have Pulse and Hollow Bow and you have a godlike Exotech spot, are you putting Pulse and Hollow Bow on Jin?
You like probably have to put the crit item with the Hollow Bow. But it like matters like where all of your items work out. Like if you have Hollow Bow and Pulse, you're probably putting both on Jin. If you have pulse, and I don't actually know what the items are called. I just call them by the colors now. If you have yellow red, you put the yellow on the Zarya and the red on the Jed just to get the max like effective like item value out of like all your units. But like if you have solo red as your only damage item, like that just goes on the Zarya. Like I don't know what like world we're living in where we just have an extra sword, an extra sword and bow for like a GS, and then we also want to itemize Jhin. Like I feel like that's pretty niche. And I'd rather just like perhaps itemize my Garen or something, or go for like some anti-heal maybe.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
But yeah, like if you're in the spot where like red is like your like leftover item, you have like double offensive and you're 7. I mean, you could put it on Jhin for sure.
So the Exotech nerf, one of the biggest ones. What about the Vanguard nerf? I think a lot of people are questioning. Do you think 6 Vanguard is still kind of an OP trait, or is it much more reasonable now?
I mean, it's good for the marksman stuff. I think it probably makes Cog like. I mean, I think Cog had like a lot of problems to begin with, but this definitely didn't help it.
I mean, we moved Kog'Maw all the way down to C on the tier list. This is kind of just bleeding into our actual like tier list.
Yeah, I mean, this is like your classic. Like the what this reminds me of was that like Punk comp in set 10. That comp like averages straight up like low 4, like 3 for like anywhere besides top challenger.
Yeah.
But then like at like the top challenger and tournament level, the comp was literally unplayable. It just has to do with like the slightly stronger board strengths and like burst damage just makes like these comps like just don't work, because like for like they're just like not okay. I'm not explaining this well, but they're not able to stall for like the extra like 2 to 3 seconds that they need to.
Yeah,
and that makes like all the difference in the fights really. And then you end up like winning the fight, and like you were going from winning the fight to like losing by like 6 units, and then you just go 8th.
Yeah, I feel like with Kog'Maw, it also it does such a good job getting cheap frontline, and it asks the opponent to build a very like to DPS check them. And a lot of people at lower ranks are less efficient at lining up items with their augments, with their traits, and their comp setup, and so they can't get past that front line. As they continue to improve, I mean, this comp doesn't beat anything like game, especially now that like units like Vex are much better, which can punish things like the Vanguard Club. So I just find Kog'Maw falling off more and more. If you do get the setup for like no scout, no pivot Kog'Maw, I mean, that's the best case scenarios. But this feels much more like a situational reroll comp to me.
Yeah. Unending Despair Vi is still like extremely stupid.
Yeah, exactly.
The amount of damage it does, like that combo is still not balanced, but
yeah, we have it right here under the alt builds if you want to check that out. Okay, so Vanguard nerfed. Yeah, have you felt the Cypher nerf meaningfully at all? I feel like it's basically the same. It's just you don't hit as many breakpoints. Sometimes it feels like you kind of hit the same things a lot of time.
I might be stupid. Why are there 4 breakpoints?
It's by stage. It's the base amount of stage you can get. So the base loss value on stage 2 is 13 instead of 16 now. And
I mean that matters for sure. I mean, I think it matters a lot if you're not hitting 4 Cypher at like a good interval.
Okay.
Because like if you didn't hit 4 Cypher before, you're kind of like you're high key getting some sus cash outs if you like never hit 4 Cypher and you like didn't have enough money to like roll for it. But like this probably like exacerbates it.
I do feel like it hasn't changed people's approach to it, but it definitely has changed the cash outs. I think like yesterday I was playing a game and I missed even 225 when I felt like I had Cypher for a while. I was like 220 and I was like, oh wow. this does not feel that great, but I definitely think that is the case. Executioner buff feels pretty inconsequential, by the way. You know what's actually really funny? My favorite fact about this patch is that 5 Executioner got buffed, but the stats on it got worse because more people play it now because they thought that it was like a good surely it's better now, let's play it. But 5 Executioner actually dropped in AVP.
I mean like it's the same trait as the Ambusher trait last set, but like the Ambusher trait actually gave like it had a like trait pairings, and you got Enforcer for free, which is like actually pretty solid, and then you got I mean, you can argue like Speech and like Rengar are like the same unit,
right?
Very okay. It's mostly just you got Scrap for free, and then Enforcer is really good, and then in this one, I guess you get Gold Knocks, but you get no like trade pairing. So, I mean, yeah, it's just kind of bound to be bad unless like the units are like really broken.
Yeah, we haven't even like updated this comment. That's how irrelevant it is because we still have like the old builds that don't even have like the updated stuff.
Yeah, so. I mean, like, I think you're like for sure if you're ever playing Rengar, it's the Jinx version and like probably only off of Rig Shop.
Yep.
Like then if you hit the comp on 4-1, like it's pretty good. You can get a third. But
Okay. All right, so that wraps up most of the big changes stuff. Let's just go over the rest of the tier list here and just talk about it. Starting with public enemy number 1, Dishsoap. I queue it up. 4 people in my lobby minimum feel like they're angling for some kind of Boombot Urgot setup of some kind. And it's fast 9 galore. If it's prismatic prelude, oh my god, it's just like everyone just takes this econ setup. Is the hype justified, or do you think it's overrated?
I mean, the comp is good. Like the comp is very good. This is just like the comp that people thought AMP was in the past. Like when
What do you
people
mean?
thought it, like well, people for like until like quite recently, like a month ago, like thought AMP was a fast 9 comp because like, oh, you want to like carry the Samira and you need the Zac. But it turns out it's like it's a high roll level 8 comp.
Yeah, I
But
see what you're saying.
but this comp is a fast 9 comp.
Okay.
Like everything on this board is important. The one like in theory on level 8 you can fit everything besides Viego, but like I don't know, Viego on this board's pretty good. Your board actually isn't that tanky, so like the techie debuff and like the extra frontline is like really really good.
Yep. Saves you United as well because you shred
yeah.
some Boombot magic damage.
So like you really want to go 9 and like getting the Garen early, the Zac early is gonna like be pretty important. The Urgot has like a farming aspect to him as well. So like he really really is the fast 9. I think if you're like win streaking, you can like easily like 5-1 or 5-2 go 9 and then roll for this. I did that at regionals a couple times, but like the more people just like degen contest this with like triple econ and they're rolling on 4-2 and then like, oh, if you go 9 on stage 5, even like early stage 5, which is a very very fast 9, sometimes the units are just gone and then you're completely screwed because there's no like there's like the Dynamo fast 9, but that one requires like a decent amount of setup. Like you really need to have like the Morgana 2, the Elise 2 to justify it. And like you need to be holding like a Poppy. Like the Boombot legit requires 0 setup on your roll down. At least you need like a Fiddlesticks and like a Cogmont or a Skarner.
Right.
That's
to
not
activate 4.
yeah, that like they don't have to be upgraded or anything. That's like a very very small barrier of entry.
Okay.
So like there's not unless you're like preparing to flex between both like a whole stage ago or more. If you're like late to the party on this comp, you could just send yourself like the fastest 8th from a good position.
Yeah. With not many alternatives as well. That's definitely
Yeah.
like one of the things about this fast 9 is that you would think that like, okay, well, if I hit some of the other 5 costs, if you hit like Garen 2 and the Zac 2 and Kabuko 2, but you have no Urgot, you just don't do anything. The composition really falls apart. Do you think I've seen some people take like a Boombot start, like a Boombot crest or like whatever, and they say, oh, there's some econ this game. Is that where we're at, where you could take a Boombot +1 and then like go into this line?
I don't even think Boombot +1's like that good.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, you can get the thing is, you can get like 6 Boombot, obviously, and you drop like the Viego or something. But
interesting.
In terms of like if you get it like off of Carousel or you just get dropped a spat off of like an orb or something, like you obviously you just make it and it's pretty good there. But like in terms of like opportunity cost, I don't think it's worth an augment.
Yeah, the econ you can miss out on is massive, right? And you'd rather just have the econ to get to 9 roll. I mean, this high-end shopping augment at 2-1 for a lot of these people is just infinitely more value because you can hit the entire board even quicker. And that's the name of the game for this fast 9. How quickly can you get to 9? How efficient can you make your rolls? How many lives do you have when you stabilize? Because when you stabilize can matter as well, because Urgot 2 can snowball by printing more items. And as you guys know, getting to 9, another limiting factor is can you even itemize your upgrades if you do hit them. So all of it's really, really important off your 2-1.
I will say, I think there's like with Boombot Emblem specifically, I think there's like a little more room to roll on 8, and you can play like a Cho'Gath like brand kind of board.
Yeah.
With like 4-ish techies. I think that board's like okay.
Okay.
I played it off of like I mean, this is like a while ago. This wasn't even this patch, but I remember playing a game of it like off Cypher Cash Out. Into Boombot just because that's what I had, but I couldn't go 9, so I had to roll an 8 for like Brand Cho'Gath, and like I won that game, but it's only like it's like I got like bailed out. I hit Urgot on like 8. No. Like
you played the Reddit comp? You played Brand Cho'Gath?
No.
There's a comp on Reddit that actually I found the tech, guys. It's Brand Cho'Gath, 4 techie.
No, I promise you that guy. I'm not playing his comp, man. I branded Cho'Gath on my board, but it's not It's not
Okay.
like four bruiser or some worthless stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
but Boombot brand is like usually what you want to do if you have to like have a Boombot spot and roll on 8s. But I would just rather not be in that position to begin with.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Got it. So that is Urgot Boombot. It's going to be a composition that you'll see a lot at the World Championship. A lot of people are going to try to play for it. Whether or not the spots are good or bad for it, it might feel like that's all in. But we'll talk about a couple of things. Actually, you know what? Somewhat slightly related to what we just talked about is that one of the big changes in this patch was that Cho'Gath got buffed by like a lot of HP, 100 HP. That incidentally is part of the reason why Urgot's a lot better. But also, people have the question: is Cho'Gath more playable outside of just like the pure Urgot Fast 9 nonsense? Are you willing to buy Cho'Gath more in your roll downs? Are you willing to like incorporate him in variations like Vex Bruisers or other things like that?
I mean, when he originally got buffed, I think like a lot of people were just were just bored and like put Cho'Gath on like the Vex board, and then I mean he was always good to buy on like the 7 Street Demon board.
Yeah, that's true.
And I imagine that's still the case right now. I don't know, this is kind of a blind spot for me, I guess. Like maybe like playing AP items into like a level 8 roll down, you're willing to buy a Cho'Gath on your Vex board, maybe.
Okay.
But I don't know. That kind of got phased out in the past. And like now, like the fast time players are also holding it, so it's not really something you rely on. It's probably just something that like you would play if you have natural, basically.
I've seen people play it in the Exotech line as well as the way to show up your front line. If you're playing around Mordekaiser, Cho'Gath, especially if you're able to find an Exotech emblem, I've seen people do that.
I imagine this is probably only with spot.
Yeah,
if I had to guess.
Well, because you still need the Kindred's kind of a big deal, like activating the rapid fire and the marksman.
Yeah. Like the only way you like don't play the Kindred is if you have like Garen. I think Garen can sometimes be enough damage to drop it, but
yeah,
like,
fair enough.
I don't think you're playing a Cho'Gath over that slot without the spot.
Okay, so Vex is back, pretty much the same, right? I think Vex hasn't really stylistically changed very much. You still want to cap around the 5 cost though, because yeah, you might play like the Jhin and the Jax, but ultimately capping around 5 costs, I mean, that's pretty much what defines most games at the moment. What do you think about the Cypher reroll? I see this like every game now. I actually see this contested at times.
God. I mean, this was like my secret sauce, but then like people like learned it and stuff. I was like just jamming this on ladder before like 2 weeks before regionals. And I was like, oh yeah, maybe people just won't learn how to play this, but nah. I mean, you can't really expect that. I don't know. The combo is obviously very good, but God, I cannot imagine what goes into the head of the people that contest the shit. Like I'm gonna be serious. Like you see someone with an Econ Augment Cypher start, and you're like, I cannot respect you as a player if you just contest that. Like I don't know. But I mean, I've seen it. Like maybe people just think they're going 8th, and this is like their best shot to go 7th or 6th.
So why? Or let me like tunnel in that a little bit deeper. So if they have an econ or like a lose streak start with Cypher, why do you think it's a bad idea sometimes to go into Cypher? I think a lot of people say
no. Sorry, I think I was misunderstood. Like, I was talking from the perspective of the person that contests the person that has the econ start
someone who opts into
that. Yeah, like contest Cypher out of like just thin air, because I've seen that before.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I've seen that actually many times, which like continues to confuse me to today. But yeah, like the comp, like the real strength of the comp, like is 2 ways. Like one, you can like play for like really really big cash outs and just swing that way. And 2, you can like swing for really low cash outs and be like super strong late stage 3, early stage 4, and then just like use that time to go for 3 stars and then get like a 3rd or something.
Yeah. Or I mean, I've seen also people play it from just like cash out immediately, just win streak.
Yeah.
Just like play a 30 intel cash out and just start win streaking with Draven 2, LeBlanc 2, and then and just like leverage that. Just play like a standard reroll comp, no crazy cash out. And it does feel like one of the few reroll comps that actually can compete. Actually, I think this website needs to be. I think we need to refresh. We actually moved Twisted Fate to the A tier, so I have a less updated version of that prior to this. What do you think is what makes Twisted Fate good all of a sudden again on ladder at least?
I mean, all the comps just got like slightly weaker, and I think they've been like slowly buffing 5 Syndicate and like MF baseline and stuff.
Okay.
Like just
Good duo carry.
slightly over the patch cycle. And I don't know, he just feels like okay. Like I don't think he's like amazing or anything, but like in the fights where you have him, he does like feel good. The problem is mostly with if like Dynamo players hold your Braum, and then you're probably not hitting Draven 3
With a
Cypher
Cypher
players.
player, yeah.
Yeah. But on like the flip side, like you could also like deny their Dravens because you're probably playing from more ahead than they are.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, the main problem with this is just if you can get Braum through or not. I think Darius is like they buffed Darius as well, like some amount of patches ago, and Darius 3 can like hold the line for a while. But obviously he's not going to be as strong as Braum 3.
Yeah, I've seen Twisted Fate do pretty well in World Scrims. When I say pretty well, it's like a win streak into like a solid second/third, just because you can't really beat the cat boards.
I think I've won with TF more than any other comp in like
Yeah.
in at least regional scrims. But
Okay.
I mean, I didn't really play them. Okay, it was like 2 games, but I don't know. I like you win 2 back-to-back games with TF, and then you start thinking some things.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm still like a little.
It's a low cap comp. That's
yeah.
And he's vulnerable.
I'm trying not to get beta by this.
Okay. One unit that got buffed repeatedly 2 badges in a row, Vayne, and I see more people trying Slayer rerolls in general. It's not just like Vayne, it's like Vayne, Senna, and Jarvan, kind of like a trio that like kind of unlocks it. And then if you have leftover items, you can play Zed, or you have optionality, right? Let's say you hit Vayne 3, no Sennas because it's contested for some reason. You hit Zed 2, then you play Zed Vayne. So you have a little bit of optionality there. Any thoughts on the improved version? I mean, they slowly buffed it over time. It's got to be viable now.
I think if you get to the board you have like that's on the screen right now, it's pretty good. Like the problem is I think Vayne 2 is like the worst like 2-star version of the real comps that exists between like I think it's worse than TF2. I think it's worse than LeBlanc 2.
Yeah.
By like a significant margin, even with 3 items. And Jarvan's like definitely the hardest. Unless you're in like if you like scout really aggressively and like know that there's no like marksman Vanguard players somehow, this Jarvan is gonna or Graves players. I guess there's not that many Graves players anymore. The problem is just like your comp doesn't scale without either Leona 2 or Jarvan 3, because you're playing like a super like scaly slow comp, and if you don't have that 3-star frontline, you're just not gonna do anything.
It feels like a lot of the case with reroll. Like if your front line is just not hit, you're just gonna struggle a lot, and that applies to this comp as well. Same thing.
Yeah, but the thing about like Cypher is that like Galio, like literally no one plays Galio except for the other Cypher player. The only people that play Braum is like
the Dynamo player
is the Dynamo player for like the mid game, and then like most people know to not like actually reroll this that much.
Yeah.
So you like the TF and the Cypher players can actually hit their front line like pretty consistently. It's like pretty. It's a tall ask to be able to hit Jarvan, and even if you do hit the Jarvan, you probably had to roll like super deep on like 7, and you probably are not in the position to like ever go 9. So like that's kind of the main problem.
Yep, that makes sense. Do you feel like there's any underrated comps or like comps that people might be overrating as well? Like we can go either way. Like just one other comp to wrap up this section, either overrated or underrated from your perspective.
Oh, I mean, I think by definition, Urgot like literally has to be overrated. Because I saw like there's no way a Fast 9 comp, like people online are just bored. I think it had like a 1.5 play rate or something.
Yeah,
which is
insane.
Which is like way higher than I've ever seen a Fast 9 comp since like the Set 9 RE days or something. Like the comp is pretty good, but it's not like that good. And like you're probably gonna lose LP if you force it. But I guess it's end of the set. Like who cares? But
yeah, I think so. One comp that I want to call attention to is that I saw some people try out this Rost hero augment in scrims.
This augment's actually good. You just can't hit.
Yeah. Except now fewer people are playing some Vanguards because it feels like everyone's trying to like Urgot Bruiser Fast 9. And so if you are in a lobby where you know a lot of people are going to be doing that, if less people are doing like the Kog'Maw calls and less people are playing Graves, fewer people are playing like 6 Vanguards in general, Ross actually has a chance. I literally just watched it happen, and it actually kind of popped off. Funny enough, I found out that this guy actually exploits the Sejuani positioning. You know how a lot of people position like the Vayne?
Yeah.
This? So you just stack Rost, even if Rost wraps around a Jarvan like here,
he'll
go to the bottom right.
Yeah,
he'll just like one-shot everything. So that was like, oh my god, it actually kind of, because everyone's positioning around the Sejuani's. You can get some real good backline access that way.
I mean, I think the offense good. Not gonna lie, if I see someone take that shit, I'm just gonna ping and like I'm gonna hold the Ross. I might even just type something because
All right.
like you might think I'm like a rat, which I mean, sure, but the thing is, just the opportunity cost or like the cost to grief the Ross player, like isn't that much for a 2 cost, and the like benefit of or like how effective your grief is just very very high because the Ross 2 is just completely worthless. But then Ross 3, they're probably getting like a top 3. So if you could like secure like a bot 2 for someone else in the lobby, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's just optimal. So yeah, I might be on the rat arc.
I watched Emily Wang. I told the story on stream actually right before this podcast. I watched Emily Wang take this in tournament on Titans Cup 3, so like 2 weeks ago. Do you want to guess how many copies of Ross she had by the end of the game? When people were holding it,
I mean, certainly not 9. I'll guess like
it wasn't 9. You're right. It was a lot fewer than 9.
Oh, was it like not even 8? Was it like 6 or was it like 7 or like 6 or 7?
Lower.
What?
5? 4 copies of Ross by the end of the game. She gave up and she pushed levels because she was ahead, but she looked around and at 3-1, there was like 3 or 4 people have Ross 2. And there's other person that's just like holding Ross pair because they're just playing it. So it was just like one of those things where she just literally could never hit. So she just pushed levels and she just ended the game at 4 Ross. And she went 8th. It was not very close. So yeah. But if you can get it, it's solid stuff. It's solid stuff. All right. So that does it for our meta tier list section. Let's go ahead to the pop quiz.
Oh, yay.
Ooh, yay. All right, pop quiz time. So I asked Dishsoap a question. Let's see if he knows the answer. And a lot of these are themed based off the patches. So if you've been paying attention to the patch, you should know.
When Twitch Chat can play along. I promise I don't have them open, though. I promise.
No worries. Okay. What is Urgot's best performing artifact when you filter 4 Urgot and 4 Boombot? And you're itemizing him. What is his best performing artifact? There's 2. They're basically the same, so you can choose.
I actually don't think any of them are like that good.
You're right, but there are 2 that stand out.
Like I'm probably gonna guess Flicker just because the early game, but I don't actually think Flicker is like that good on him. But it probably just carries your early game enough to like where it'd be that good. Because I mean I've done this. You put Flicker on Cog 2, and then you'd like pivot to like Vanguard Urgot or something, or just normal Urgot. So I'm probably gonna guess Flicker, but I feel like that like Loki might be too easy of an answer.
Okay.
So it might be like something weird. Like honestly, it's probably snipers. Because like this Urgot, like when he like casts and he like shoots like within range, and with extra range you can just hit the backline, and like with snipers, it's probably just snipers. I'm pretty sure it's snipers.
All right. Well, the answer is Fishbones / snipers. You're correct.
Okay,
you got what Fishbones was actually particularly interesting. It performed really well. And I tried to filter. I was like, is that just like
the cipher cacher?
Yeah, and it actually still held up even as I tried different variations of it. So I think it's because Fishbone stops, or one, it's within his range, right? So his range, his ult actually scales with hex range. And the second is I think it stops him from griefing as often. For the same reason, the Cyber's focus could be pretty good too, which is Urgot has this problem where if he locks onto a target, sometimes he walks up to the second row or even the front row, and then your fight's just over because he griefs himself.
That happens so often in the right corner, like almost never the left. But yeah.
Interesting.
He has a disease.
Okay. All right. So that was our first question. Question number 2: what is the highest stage 2 win rate 4-unit combination? So like you get to pick like what's the best early game start that's doing well. You can actually have a 3 cost. The way they did the variations. According to Meta TFT, what's the best early game start? And the hint is it includes a 3 cost.
Okay. If it you just like no flame. You just gave this to me because I looked at this like 3 patches ago. And then all of them have Mord, and all of them had. Okay, well I might get the wrong variation, but I think it's Mord, Jax, Jin, Kindred. 3 Exo with the Marksman. I checked this like 3 patches ago.
Oh, interesting.
But like I mean the fact that you get it has a 3 cost, it's a good guess if it's still the same.
It is a good guess. It is not the correct answer. The
Okay,
correct answer is Jarvan, Ross, Graves, and Alistar.
okay.
What's
Sad.
interesting is that Mordekaiser's not on this list. It might be
Wait, what?
it
Okay,
might be
whatever.
because people don't actually play it that often. But I literally just click on the list, and the early game list is either the Nitro opener with Elise or Jarvan with Graves.
Say it. Well, I mean, I didn't check this very recently, so I guess I'm outdated.
No, I think that what you're describing though, the Mordekaiser start is very good though, and a lot of people actually don't play around that as often as they should. Let's say question number 3. Speaking of Graves, according to Meta TFT, where is Graves' God Hex? He has 1 Hex that looks phenomenal. In particular overall. So where is Graves' God Hex according to Meta TFT positioning?
Oh god, I think. Okay, well, this is gonna be kind of a hunch answer. I don't think you would like. Okay, sorry. There's like so much to this, and I probably can't even get into it that much. But there was this one time I forgot who it was. I would give them the credit if I knew it was someone. It was someone in like the global scrims.
Okay.
Where someone was basically doing like the standard like anti-Graves positioning, forcing me into the middle. And what he did was he actually put his Graves further back, with like a very specific like frontline position, where it basically like made it like wrap anyways. It looked like insane when he did it. But I can't remember the exact hex where that was the thing.
We saw it at regionals actually. I saw JRC do that.
I legit have like no. I mean, okay, it's probably not where they actually, because this is off like the Meta TFT stats, right?
Yeah, like so basically, I open up the team builder in Meta TFT.
Yeah.
And then I look at the highest percentage. I'm just taking it. Maybe rephrase it.
Okay.
Where's Graves' best hex?
Sorry, I think it's okay, but the thing is his like it's okay. His best hex is just in the like the top left and top right, like 1 down, but that's not what the actual answer is going to be. The actual answer I think is like C1 or something, or like
okay,
C2, C1 or C2.
All right, according to
like
this,
the Giga Wrap.
There was 2 answers I was willing to accept. One of them was the corner one's the one you described. It B7 is technically the most popular and highest win rate, but the God Hex, the secret God Hex, according to the stats, is A4. Front center, Graves at 54%, which I thought was really interesting.
I mean, that's just trenchcoat.
Trenchcoat Graves? Okay.
Yeah, that's just trenchcoat.
All right. Okay, actually, that's interesting because I don't see people play Trenchcoat Graves in top center though. I see them play it in corners.
Well, the thing is, even if not all Trenchcoat Graves go in that hex, you're only putting Graves in that hex with Trenchcoat.
I see. Okay, well, the frequency is like high enough that I thought that was the case, or I thought that was interesting, but I guess you're right then. It's someone said find your center as well. Maybe find your center. I don't feel like you're like looking to do find your center Graves though. I feel like that puts you in a tough spot.
I mean through the aggregate, I'm sure that's what people are doing.
Fair enough. Okay, interesting. Okay, then
sorry, I try to give these questions too much.
Oh yeah, sometimes it's the obvious ones, but sometimes they are the less obvious ones though. So you're right. We mix it up. What is the lowest AVP gold tier vertical in the game? So most gold tier verticals, we're talking about stuff that's not the prismatic. The prismatics are like the 10 piece, the 10 anima, the 10x attack. So the 1 tier lower. What's the worst performing gold tier vertical in the game?
In something like 5 animas, like a silver tier, I guess.
Yeah, 5 animas is silver. You can ask if certain traits are gold or silver.
I mean, it would used to be like, is it one of the Divinity cores? I mean, probably not. Like Divinity core actually has pretty good average. Or is it Executioner? Because you always like talking about how bad 5 Executioner is, and that's a gold trait. And then it would be on your mind. So that's what I have in my mind right now. I'm not really seeing anything worse than that right now.
Yeah.
So it might be one of the Divinity cores, and it might be. Like, what else? Like, it might be Cypher. Like, maybe if the stats are skewed that low, but I'm going to guess it's 5 Executioner based on like context clues.
5 Executioner is one of the worst. You're right. I have the screenshot up here.
Oh.
5 Executioner is one of the worst, but by far the worst one is 6 Rapid Fire. Oh. It's not even close.
Oh, okay.
6 Rapid Fire is averaging a 4.8.
I was about to guess Techie because I just saw that last second.
Nah, it's
Whatever.
not Techie either. 6 rapid fire is terrible.
Yeah.
And then 5 Cypher, 4 Nitro, 5 Executioner is like not great, but it's like already in this range. So 6 rapid fire that bad. I mean, it's why is 6 rapid fire so terrible? It's just people who try and fail with the rapid fire Renekton and they're just going 8th.
Yeah, I mean that was good like a month ago, and people still think it's good.
Yeah, fair enough.
But it's not good.
Okay.
So
I think it's
Like,
not
I-
good.
I
And
mean,
I also
it just
think
gotta,
people are
like-
not itemizing correctly as well.
I mean the trade just got a massive nerf. That one patch.
Yeah.
I forgot like you just got like a lot less attack speed like per stack, but that like matters a lot for 6
UVC
rapid.
patch. It was
Yeah.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah, but like the patch after it was like gutted.
Yeah, and then also, I was talking about this with Ripple Overdrive. It also runs into build issues because in the past, bow was not a good component for
Yeah.
6 rapid fire because you don't want Rage Blade and stuff like that. And Ruin's Hurricane didn't synergize with it, but you actually do want Kraken now for the rapid fire. But that's at odds with, if you start with Cooking Pot with the bow and your item economy is completely messed up now. And Kraken is like your best item. So it's like, now you're kind of it's the same problem with like Visionaries in the past wanted tiers and tier for their emblem. Same thing with like I guess Dynamo right here as well.
Oh, and then there's also people holding the Zeri.
Yeah, it's also way more contested now,
Yeah.
especially the previous patch. So it just continued to fall worse and worse. On top of what you were saying, definitely problematic.
I will say I still have seen people win the game with like the Giga Miss board, but
Yeah,
that's like legit Renekton 2 level 9, a bunch of bullshit with a combat augment. Like that's not really that real.
Yeah, I mean, I see people like open up emblems and try it. Like they play Trade Tracker and then they'll like, oh, I'll try Rapid Fire, but they don't really go for the 6 Rapid Fire Renekton anymore. It's like 2 or 4. They just.
I mean, I love Rapid Emblem in my like Tree Tracker or whatever, like flexible whatever.
Yeah,
because it means I get to drop the dumbass Kindred in my 7 EXO comp.
That feels really good.
And then you get to like rapid fire your like Jenner Garen or something. I mean, I'd rather do that.
Better.
I'd rather do that than play 6 rapid.
Dude, Rapid Fire Garen actually kind of goes hard. I don't know if you see it, but like he ults the entire board and he doesn't have damage drop off, so it ends up doing like a ton. It looks really hard.
I really like going double spat on like when it was actually meta, double rapid spat to go like rapid Renekton and Garen at the same time.
Okay.
And then the Renekton eats the Garen, and then it just becomes like a tornado at the bottom.
Oh, I see. That's actually kind of sick. I can see that happening. I mean, also because the rapid fire, it was just a trade. You don't actually care about Twisted Fate. You actually don't care about Kog'Maw, so that makes sense to drop even more units. Okay. All right. That does it for Pop Quiz. Not too bad, Dish Soap. Overall, you ended just below 50% for this season, but it's because some of these questions, quite frankly, are BS. So.
Well, I was just putting too much, so you just made the questions like impossible. It's all good.
Yeah, actually, I mean, yes. If you guys didn't see the first season we started doing this, Disso got like 78% right, or something like that. So it was too much. Okay, let's do our crash course for today, and I think we do have to go through it because a lot of people. It is the comp everyone's talking about. So Boombot Urgot.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go in and like slightly update the items on this.
Okay. So actually, as you're doing that, you can tell us what items are you updating.
Mostly just the Urgot items. Like I don't. Okay, so for the thing, like you could end up with these 3 items in Urgot and it's fine because like comps like these like don't really care about this unless you're like playing it from like a Cypher loss streak angle.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're playing from an early game, you like pretty much only need Kraken +2 on the Urgot. I don't think Kraken Rage Blade definitely is gonna be this. I personally like Kraken like Gunblade Guardbreaker usually. Like if I'm like thinking about like a BIS.
Right.
But
yeah, so I can explain sort of like why we have this version on the website. It's because a lot of times you play Urgot from a win streak from a high AD tempo position. And so very commonly, things like Rageblade and Kraken is a really classic combo. You can put it on Kog'Maw, you can put it on the early Jhin if you find that. You can ladder that up to Aphelios and Zeri, and that should give you the stability to get to level 9. Rageblade is not BIS on Urgot by any means, but it's like a tempo thing. And by the end of the game, if you hit Urgot 2 with Rageblade, you're probably gonna win the game anyways. So
yeah, I agree. But strictly thinking from like BS, if you have like salvagers, if you have reforgers, if you have I don't know if you have or if you're just like lost, you can have a bunch of components. I think you
Right.
can
Salvage bin.
like maybe go for better items.
Yeah.
I very often there's it's like the salvage or charm. I don't know what it's called, like the thing you get from the orb, the hacked orb. Where you,
Salvager.
yeah, like the one time use salvager. I very often like to break apart the rage blade in this.
Yep.
To go for it usually ends up being like the last Urgot item plus like rod ends up being like Morello or something. In regional specifically, I like verbalized and like planned that I was gonna do like exactly that, and then I forgot to I forgot to actually do it on like 4-1 because I had a million things to do, and ended up like completely messing up my items, but I got bailed out anyways. Like that was the game where I skipped Urgot as well.
Oh, that was when you skipped Urgot too. Got
Yeah,
it.
but I also like fucked up my items that game as well. Like it was bad. Um, but yeah, like a very common thing I do is you just salvage with the rage blade in this.
Okay.
Um,
That makes sense. And you get that more often than you think as well.
yeah.
In this line.
Yeah, I think in alt build I kind of want to put blue buff because
Yeah.
you end up with a bunch of tiers honestly I don't even love itemizing Vex that much in this just because she kind of like needs like 3 items to like really pop off, and you often just don't have the room between itemizing like extra tanks, and like usually you want to get like a Garen or like go for like TGs or something. So
Yeah.
usually I just end up with like or like Morello on her, like just like Morello on her. But if you have like a blue buff, putting on Urgot itself is pretty good.
Okay.
Just like it just gives them like a lot of uptime and like faster cast, and the damage ends up like just not being that bad. Basically he does nothing when he's not in his like enhanced casting state. So just like being in that state more often is like just good, even though like he's like mana locked.
Yep, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let's talk about the way we get into this. You said that like a lot of people are playing this maybe because they're bored. Let's say there's people who want to play, upstanding, honest TFT.
Mhm.
This is a good Urgot spot. I see a lot of people with good Urgot spots define it as like econ openers, econ portals, but also specifically that they're willing to take multiple econ augments as well.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Like when people go like double, triple econ Urgot, is that justifiable?
Yes, just because Zach exists. And like the way you gotta look at it is if you take triple econ, like you're probably not gonna have. How do I concisely say this? Basically taking triple econ's okay because it lets you hit earlier. Then like it lets you hit before 1 life in theory. And then that's like pretty important because it like usually you're only gonna be losing to like 1 or 2 people in the lobby. If you're losing to more people in the lobby, you're just screwed anyways. So like if you can get like the 1 or 2 like buffer lives, where you can actually live versus those players and start scaling up the Garen mods, start scaling up the Zac mods, you can actually live to like the critical mass point of like 2 to 3 Garen mods and like 30 blobs where you're just not really gonna lose. But if you don't have like the board early with like all those extra econ augments, you're not gonna have that scaling. And even though you might have like a good combat augment and you might have like an extra like unit itemized on your team, that's not really gonna make the difference usually if you didn't get to your board early and don't have the scaling. So that's why like hitting your board by the end of game is not just enough. You need to hit it early so you get the snowball going.
Okay, that makes sense. If you don't hit something like Zach too on this roll down, but you're hitting things like Garen, you're hitting Viego, you hit Kabuko, no Zach. Who are you itemizing? Are you moving items off of Cho'Gath ever as well? Like, because the front line, I think a lot of people struggle with like understanding who to prioritize and when, or is it even all situational? It's like in sometimes you want to do this, you want to go Viego, and sometimes you want to go Garen and Kabuko instead.
It's like probably situational based off the items, but I will say after Cho'Gath buff, it's probably just items on Cho'Gath too until you have like other stuff 2-starred. I used to itemize Kabuko too, even with tank items over Cho'Gath before the buff, but that's probably not the case anymore. Kabuko doesn't really make sense as a tank because he doesn't get mana. So it's probably just like items on Cho'Gath and then into Zac.
Okay.
I personally usually like itemizing like Garen with like the full melee carry items as like my leftover, but going for like TGs is fine. Just going for double tank is fine as well. Because the thing is like Garen 1 isn't really gonna be a beast. So if you invest like all those items into him, you might be like really disappointed.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Garen 2 is a complete menace.
Are you ever rolling ever? People used to play the like a bruiser variation of this as well. Is that sufficient to hold on to? Like, I think they played Gragas and Mordekaiser, and that was the techie that linked to
Yeah,
Viego.
I
Or no,
mean
maybe Fiddlesticks.
I mean it fits, but like after the Garen buff and then just the fact that we're like staying into 4 Boombot, like the value of the mod is just insane.
Okay.
And then you're just playing higher quality units. Like after the Garen buff, Garen's a good unit. Viego's just a good unit.
People cut Vex as well at times in the past. Is that still true now? I mean, Vex is better. I think some people have a hard time understanding how important Executioner is on Urgot.
I see people say double Urgot's better. I do not believe it.
Okay.
Unless you're in some like really bizarre. I mean, obviously, if you have like 6 Urgots, you can play 2 Urgot too, sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah, sure.
But I typically think the Vex is better than the Urgot one.
Yeah.
Unless you're in like some weird fantasy land where you have all your other 5 costs itemized and then you don't have X items, you have any have Urgot items left over. Like sure. But I think that usually doesn't happen, and I usually just like the Vex.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I see people do that with Urgot if they have a mod on the Urgot as well, because you play 2 Urgots, both of the Garen mods count. So let's say you get like high cap situation. I don't know, you're playing Divinicore Emblem or something like that. Divinicore, I can get double mods.
Yeah, the thing about the double mod is like the thing is if you play like this version, which I think is like the best version by far, the mods you can put on Urgot are not good.
Okay.
You get like
Bruiser
mod.
2 Bruiser. It's like one Divinicore. You're like, okay.
Yeah. I don't think it's that impactful. One actual important tip for this comp is, especially like with how like the comp plays on like a Razor's Edge, you often it's like almost never correct to like upgrade the non-important units on your rolldown, aka like you probably should not be making Skarner 2, Fiddle 2, or Vex 2 until you have like the core of your board stabilized. And the reason for that is just these upgrades don't matter that much, and they like just they just cost a lot. So upgrade them after you like truly stabilize around like 1 or 2 upgraded 5 costs.
Okay. Final question about this: is positioning Urgot in the corner correct? Some people say he grieves himself in the corner. That's how he walks up. Position him a little bit off the back corner, maybe like D2, D6. Maybe people put him in the bottom center. That makes him more vulnerable to other things, though. So, where do you stand on that?
I don't know. I feel like if your Urgot wants to walk up, there's probably nothing you really could have done about it.
It's not even your fault, is what you're saying.
Well, no, like I don't know. If you like put him like in the middle or like one to the left or right of the middle, he's probably not walking up. But
okay.
I mean, putting it there is like pretty bad for Sejuani and other stuff.
And
so.
Yeah, it makes him very vulnerable to too many things. The list is very, very long.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, someone said in chat. This is what I usually do. Is I usually actually play Kog'Maw over the Skarner, like bait like Zeds
for bat line. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you lose a techie. Does that matter very much? It
does.
No,
you drop Skarner, not the.
Oh, you said Skarner. They said Fiddlesticks. My bad.
Yeah, you can keep Fiddle. Playing the Cog say that you're like their Draven and Zed ult bad things is like usually going to be a little bit better. I just updated it then.
Yeah, I've done that, and I've also used Kog'Maw for support items as well. So if you have something that needs to stay in the back, you can have Kog'Maw do that too, like the Zephyr or something.
Yep.
All right, great. That was our crash course into Boombot Urgot, just giving you guys some tips here and there on how to optimize it. But if you haven't seen it, that probably means you're just not playing many ladder games, because you're going to see this a lot. Let's wrap this up. We usually do question of the day with some of the people from Patreon, but we have chat. I'm actually streaming the recording of this for the first time. And some people are dropping questions in chat. So we'll start off with the first one from Ramblin'. We can go this as fast as possible. We can do like several questions. The first is Ramblin' asks, how real is Ziggs as a primary carry this patch? They did buff Ziggs again.
Like he high key is kind of real. The problem is the trait web of the set is just so garbage that there's no comp for him. You can play him on like the old board with like the the five what's it called, the 5 street team with the 4 techie, like that old board, and then you like swap to like 4 cyber boss on level 9. Like I did that today in scrims and I went like 4th, I guess. Yay.
Yeah.
I was getting like thoroughly outclassed, but I went 4th. And like he's a pretty good secondary carry for Veigar. He'll probably do like more damage than Veigar like a lot of the fights, but then like you're playing a 2-cost reroll and then you like make it to a 2-star 4-cost. You probably also need the 5-cost. It's just like not very realistic. And then I've seen people say that he's better to itemize in Brand in 7 Street Demon, but that like kind of breaks my brain because why the fuck are we even playing 7 Street Demon is for frontline? I'm pretty sure we can do better than that. But I mean, he's good to like I would say he's probably like good to itemize in the 7 Street Demon board. But
yeah, my interpretation of this, and I only saw this like 1 or 2 times. It was like 1.5 times. But there is like a variation of a Fast 9 AP board to cap the board higher. Basically, they played 7 Street Demon and they said I can't compete with the late game board. So they actually transitioned to a Cyber Boss AP board version. It's that way you get to cut all the Street Demon small dudes, right? And then you get to play like real 5-cost like Viego and Renekton connects to Poppy. Same thing.
I played that board today and I didn't have a slot. Unless you play
like basically the slots that's flexible is like whether or not you play Echo Nico.
So you're like fully dropping Street. I see.
Yeah. So like you can if you want.
No, I mean I have to try that out then.
I've seen it done in China twice, and one was because they pivoted off a Veigar reroll because they were just too far ahead; they can never hit Veigar. And the other was they played off a Street Demon and transitioned this to like their level 9 board, and that was like the way they capped high. But it was like so unproven. There's no sample size. The data looks good on it on the 100 games at Emerald Plus, but like it's
so you're dropping. Oh, but no strategist for what are you playing? Like you one slot's protected. Are you playing Zac? I guess.
Yeah, or you can Garen as well if you want. But like,
it's probably Zac because you probably had like this board for sure makes frontline items. Yeah, you don't want them on Kabuko, so it's probably Zac Renekton instead of Nico Echo. I actually probably have to try that, but
it's experimental. I put this tag. We rarely use this tag on the tier list, but just because I want to put the caveat that there was times I saw it, it looked great, but it was like I haven't been able to see it replicated since.
Well, I mean, this board with Echo Nico is the board we used to play.
Yeah. With the I mean, it was like the 5 Street Demon type of setup, right? We played.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, just some food for thought. Dishsoap, who's your prediction for winning Worlds besides yourself? If you can't win it, who's winning it?
Bro, I do not care. But like, I'm like the last person you want to ask for that because I'm not looking at anyone else's gameplay.
All right, fair enough.
So
Crush asks, why do you think Zeri Misfortune version of Exotech is worse than 7 Exotech even after MF buffs and 7 Exotech nerf?
I don't know. The comp just feels worse. Like I feel like it's worse because I mean the stats hate it. I think it's probably just easier because the comp is super expensive and like MF is played in 4 Dynamo. Like she has a very real role in 4 Dynamo, and Zeri has a very real role in 7 Exotech. And given that the MF Zeri board is more expensive than both of those boards usually, unless you're playing like the Fast 9 Dynamo version, like it has to be significantly stronger to justify it because it's just more expensive.
Okay.
But it's like weaker. So if it's weaker and less expensive, it kind of just becomes like in this irrelevant territory where you're only really gonna play it like if you like natural it on your roll down like immediately.
Yeah, and you have dead items to back it up as well.
Yeah.
Because I mean, in theory, it's like Jin basically holds the MF items and gets 70-80% of the efficiency while being 1/8 as expensive. So it's like you might as well use that to leverage to get to 9. And so yeah, it's kind of like I think that the situation that you might find yourself in to play that is if you have those conditions Dishsoap said, and you can't go to 9. So you have to roll on 8 and you're just stuck there. You have to roll for something to upgrade your board. That could be something you can do, I suppose.
Oh, I do want to quickly go back to this Worlds question. I won't give you an answer, but I will say that ever since they've like brought this format to regionals and Worlds where you like pick someone, I've like the person I've picked because I've picked most of the times. Like first pick, the person I've picked, I think I've only like I think I did it like 6 times. They went to final lobby like 5 out of 6 times. The person I first pick.
Oh, okay.
So whoever I first pick, because I'm gonna be one of the first picks this time.
You're talking about drafting your first lobby.
Yeah.
So like whoever Dishsoap has drafted the first lobby makes final lobby like 5 out of 6 times.
Yeah, it happened with like France B. It happened with Darkest. It happened with like Black Sheep, I think, or I don't remember. Like someone in one of those earlier sets. It happened with Dehua. The only one it didn't happen to was Kevin Parker.
Damn. EU underperforming again. That's crazy. He kept EU gets the Dishsoap buff, and they still don't make final lobby. I mean, there's nothing saving them.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not picking anyone to win Worlds, but the track record is pretty good for my first draft pick here.
Okay, let's do one or two more quick hits here. Is there any Wither Gaming asks, is there any way to play Fiddlesticks this patch?
I mean, like Fiddle, like probably yes. Like Fiddle 3 Blighting Jewel or Sniper's Focus with Cho'Gath 2 Frontline, I imagine is very good. The problem is you're not hitting that board. Spoiler alert.
All right, final one from Pepega. How do you balance HP versus Econ in the Urgot composition? How much do you roll to stabilize on stage 4? I mean, I feel like that's the entire difficulty of the comp. You're asking like, how do you succeed? That's basically the question you ask yourself every game.
Ideally, you're rolling like extremely little on 8. If you're rolling, like, if you're in the mindset of rolling till stable, like it shouldn't be rolling till stable. It should like be roll once and then you're stable because you were already strong enough. Like low key,
Oh, it's a false premise. You should be stable enough to go to 9 in the first place before you. So you shouldn't have to ask yourself that question.
You should be stable enough, or you should be stable enough after like rolling like once or twice.
Yeah.
If that's not the case and you're not on like 100 HP cushion, or like you have enough money from Econ Augment to like 4 or 5 it anyways, it probably wasn't an Urgot angle in the first place. So
interesting. Okay. I like that. Don't put yourself in the position where you have to ask yourself the question in the first place. Duh. Just be in a good spot for Urgot in the first place. I like it. Okay. That does it for this edition of TFT Study Hall. Dude, we're done with set 14. The next time we're going to be recording another episode, we'll be introducing set 15. So, man, we did it. We survived. Cyber City's in the books.
Not yet, but I mean, at least for this thing.
Yeah, fair enough.
It was a set.
It was a set.
We'll see how much I enjoyed in the future after this tournament, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see.
I mean that's not true. Even if I win Worlds, I'll say the set's bad. Like I'll just say it. Who cares?
I don't think every set has to be your favorite set, man. I think that's like okay to say there's things about the set you don't like for the most part.
Okay, but like surely this one is just the worst one. Like,
yeah. I mean, what you're saying is surely we get better from here because I do think that this set was a step back from the previous set in terms of like a lot of the things that I enjoy about TFT. And, I mean, the nice thing is that it's a complete reset, though. Who knows what set 15 has in store?
I mean, okay. Objectively, it's like for sure not the worst set, but like I personally feel like it's the biggest step back from like the past like year and a half.
Okay. You're saying they're on a roll and it feels bad. Even worse than set 12. I think a lot of people said set 12. They didn't.
I mean, I think this one the only thing worse than this one is like
9.5.
Like 9.5.
Yeah, 9.5 was pretty terrible. At least in the modern era, right? Since like we had augments. So I think I can get behind that sentiment. There were parts of 7 I really didn't like though. But we're not here to talk about like all of our least favorite parts.
I mean
we could be here all day.
I mean, honestly, like a lot of the preset 9 stuff was like pretty, or preset 10 stuff there's a lot of such things like very common.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, that's why I said past year and a half, but that makes sense. Set 14 is in the books. It's our last one. Thank you to everyone who watched this either on YouTube. If you listen to us on Spotify, it's all in the feed there. Please definitely give us some kind of engagement on the platform. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you subscribe and comment, like, do all that stuff, that helps us because it helps get more visibility to share this with other people who love TFT. If you're listening on Spotify, please give us 5 stars. But perhaps most importantly, if you are a person that uses TFT Academy this deep into a set, thank you so much because honestly, you guys are the true hardcore warriors because most people have quit getting ready for the next set. And so we'll be back in probably a few weeks. Maybe we'll do something light for PBE just to get people plugged in. But Dishsoap will be grinding that. I'll be traveling to EWC Paris, so I'll probably on a different recording setup. Hopefully we can still get that arrangement underway, but we'll catch you then. So from Frodan and Dishsoap, thanks for watching this edition of TFT Study Hall. Good luck to Dishsoap on his 5th World Championship. We're looking forward to the 3-time crown, and if not, don't worry, you'll be back. We were 100% confident about that. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah.